The Veterinary Feed Directive. So, do any of you guys know what the VFD is or the Veterinary Feed Directive is, or how it could save you money by following this? Well, the VFD is the Veterinary Feed Directive, and it was implemented by the FDA. And little did you guys know that following this could end up helping you save money by doing that. So at the end of this presentation, you'll understand the VFD and the importance of it, and then why it was implemented by the FDA. So I am a student at Kansas State University studying ag business and animal science, and I've had lots of background classes about the VFD and how we've discussed as it's been recently implemented here in the past couple of years, and they have also been monitoring it to see how well it has been doing at regulating the antibiotic use in livestock animals. So the VFD is a great addition to the livestock industry as it is helping regulate the use of antibiotics. By following the VFD, you will be able to be more efficient with your livestock animals while also using less antibiotics at the same time. So the history of the VFD, the Veterinary Feed Directive came about because there was being more and more antibiotics used in food producing livestock animals, and this became a real concern for people as they would not follow the withdrawal dates, and there would be residue over from going to the slaughterhouses. So that was a major concern, and that is why the VFD was put into place, because people didn't want to eat meat that had residual antibiotics in it, and the producers, not all the producers, were following the guidelines from the antibiotics and following the proper withdrawal dates. So this was another action to help get producers to follow them. And there's also a concern about livestock becoming immune to the antibiotics as they're being overused. See, and so some major feedlots would just treat the cattle as they got them in, or um, as they showed signs, they would treat the whole group. And while this is very effective, the cattle can also become very immune to different antibiotics very quickly at the same time. So in return, they get the cattle treated at that time, but then if they do get sick at a later date, they can become harder to treat as they have built immunity to that antibiotic. So the purpose of the VFD and the intentions of it are for you to have a good veterinary relationship with your veterinarian, as your veterinarian has to prescribe you a VFD for the cattle. So he has to personally know you, know your operation, and know your cattle that you have. So he is required for him to, your veterinarian to come out and inspect your cattle that you're wanting an antibiotic for, and then write you a prescription. And it's very similar to going to your human doctor and getting a prescription, and then you go into a pharmacy to get that prescription, except this is related to livestock animals. So like I said, you get a better relationship with your vet, and then according to the FDA, the VFD is ensuring the judicious use of antimicrobials in food producing animals. And the VFD can also save you money. Now, there isn't much evidence about this out there, but it's also a positive aspect to look at the VFD, as I know a lot of producers are not looking forward to having something else to follow, and jump through obstacles to just to get a prescription antibiotic. And but according to Poultry Health Today, the VFD can save you money by using smaller amounts of antibiotics first to see how the animals react, and then that can be increased if deemed necessary. So you can basically do a lessened amount of antibiotics and see if that has an impact, and then you can get a heavier dose if you need to. So there are rules that the VFD has and is required when using antibiotics in your feeds, such as Ampraxin, according to the FDA. And there is a list about 20 antibiotics on the FDA's website that all require a VFD to um, obtain. And if you don't know if this certain antibiotic requires a FDA, you can always call your local feed mill, and when you're trying to order it, they will obviously be uh, noticed that you have to prove them a VFD that you have gotten. So, and also, as this has been implemented a couple years ago, there's been a few updates that have been put out about the VFD. And according to TSLN.com, the hardest part was getting cattle producers to get the vet out to the farm the first time. And then after that, they've gotten the VFD one time. It's been a breeze for them and the feed mill. Because, you know, uh, as a cattle producer, it's hard, getting up and then also having to jump through one more obstacle just to get your cattle safe. And but it's not just you that's having to comply with those rules. It's the feed mill that has to be uh, aware of those, and also your veterinarian has to um, be educated on that as well. So it's really not just the producer that has to worry about that. It's a group of people that have to worry about that. So, as you look back over the presentation, you can see that the VFD was designed to reduce the use of antibiotics in cattle and just livestock, and but it's mainly focusing on food producing livestock, as that's where they're sent to the meat plants and produced. So if you guys are looking for more information about the VFD, you can always contact your local vet, your feed mill, or the FDA is a great website to go on, as they have all the regulations and everything associated with the FDA, as they are the governing body for that. So I hope you all have learned something about the VFD, and I challenge you guys to comply with the rules closely to help produce a safe product to consume and do your part in that.